Let's watch this intro season of Discovery and a sneak peek at what is next. Okay, sure.
Hello, welcome to WowCast. Today we're going to talk about WoW Classic Season of Discovery, and I have two special guests with me today.
I'm Nora Valletta. I'm a lead software engineer on WoW Classic.
I'm Josh Greenfield, and I'm a senior game producer on WoW Classic.
So, what is Season of Discovery?
Season of Discovery is a interesting new twist on WoW Classic that sort of revisits and recaptures the exploration aspect of World of Warcraft and really encourages players to get in tune with Azeroth and really pay attention to their surroundings and pick up on things that might be different, things that might be new to them, and experience that with other players.
Yeah, to add to that too, Season of Discovery, due to the kind of seasonal nature of it, it's a really great opportunity for us to take kind of a lot of risks and wild chances on things. And so also to kind of ask what if questions, like what if you could heal as a mage, or what if you could tank as a rogue or a warlock. And these are all super
The
interesting
rogue one, I
twists on
think,
the
is
class
stupid.
fantasy that we've sort of know and love about original World of Warcraft, and gives you a new way to approach, a new lens through which to view the original World of Warcraft world.
How does a new character experience Season of Discovery? Is it different than WoW Classic?
It'll be much the same as original World of Warcraft. When you first create your character, you'll kind of load into the game world at, say, Northshire Abbey. If you're a human, you'll go kill wolves, kill a few kobolds. But when you hit level 2, pretty much right away, you're going to get your first quest to discover your first rune ability. And that's the first taste of the discoveries in Season of Discovery. So you complete that quest, you get your first rune ability, and these are usually really impactful rune abilities. But after that, the game doesn't really tell you what to do. It just kind of says, go find more. And that's really what Season of Discovery is all about, is going out and rediscovering the original World of Warcraft world.
Can you explain more
That's
about what runes are?
Runes are essentially abilities that players can find through various means out in the open world. There are 12 per class in the 1 to 25 leveling
12.
bracket, and there will be additional runes in later leveling brackets. Players will essentially, like Josh said, venture out into the world. They will work towards discovering these runes, and some of them are a little bit more involved than others. That being said, they are tied to some really cool
Oh,
abilities
that is
that
a
players can mix and match. There are different rune
warlock.
engraving slots, and find interesting new ways to play their class.
What is that?
So, how do rune discoveries play into the class fantasies?
So if you can imagine yourself as perhaps a mage, right? Mages are able to manipulate fire, ice, and even time in some cases. And so you can imagine those discoveries for mages sort of playing into those things. You may end up having to manipulate those things over the course of having to discover and solve some of the riddles that will earn you some runes.
Yeah, to add on to that, one of the things that we're really interested in with Season of Discovery is giving a little exploration to, how does, for example, a dwarf priest differ from a undead priest, and how would they channel the energies of the light and the shadow differently? And it's safe to say that that's going to play into some of the discoveries and some of the things you're going to need to do to find some of the priest abilities.
What are you most excited about?
I'm personally very excited for players to really immerse themselves in Azeroth in a way that I feel like was easy, and it was kind of the only way to experience WoW Classic when it initially launched, because you didn't know what to expect. You were kind of adventuring out into the world. You couldn't just go and look up a guide on where to find everything or what to do. And so I look forward to having players experience that again.
I think for me, the thing I'm most excited about is new raid and dungeon content. I'm a big fan of in-game raiding, and we've got some really amazing stuff coming in Season of Discovery. We talked about this at BlizzCon, that the first raid is Black Fathom Deeps, which is it's an
Used to
iconic
be a
level
dungeon.
that we've
Yep.
converted into a new raid instance. We've completely from the ground up rebuilt all 7 bosses in the raid.
So cool.
Yeah,
So cool.
it's so much fun. And we got a lot of great feedback from BlizzCon on this, and we're super excited for people to actually see the
Oh,
whole raid
really?
in the wild.
Are there any adjustments from BlizzCon that you can talk about?
Yeah, we've been listening to a lot of feedback ever since BlizzCon. We've been reading social media. We've been playtesting still internally amongst ourselves. One of the fun things about Season of Discovery is we've gotten kind of a crack team together internally on the Classic team and the greater Team 2 World of Warcraft team together, and we've done a ton of raid playtests, ton of class playtests, and we've really been we've narrowed down this process to kind of process that feedback and act on it quickly. So we've already made a number of adjustments since BlizzCon, and I think players will be pleasantly surprised by a lot of those. The best thing about BlizzCon for this is that we got a lot of great feedback on the raid, and we kind of tuned the raid for fun at BlizzCon, right? Like it wasn't
Oh,
particularly punishing. We wanted people to really go in there and have fun, but
wait, was not
maybe cranked it up
punishing?
a little bit for the live release. And
Oh
we think it's going to
shit!
be a really fun challenge, and we also think it's going to be really rewarding.
I can
We've
already see the
tuned the
classic
rewards
players
to be very
crying
powerful for this level band, and we think people are going to have a
when
lot
they're
of
not
fun.
able to do it.
Players have been asking, what's the right way to level up in Season Discovery?
He dodged the question, by the way. He didn't say what they changed. I think it's a good answer. Like, it's good to dodge that question. It's stupid to reveal or leak something.
I don't think there's a right way to level up in Season of Discovery. The leveling journey in Season of Discovery is going to be pretty similar to how it was in original World of Warcraft. You can do quests, you can
There's no
fight
way that
monsters,
1 to
you can also
25
do dungeons. But the thing that we really do like
is
about
as
the season is
fast
that there's
as
so much in the
1 to
outside
25
world
normal
that
classic.
you might find it as a little bit better use of your time to level in the outside world to be able to find those runes and be able to keep your eyes peeled for wherever they might be lurking. Over the next hill or in the next cave or crypt.
And some of those runes will also encourage players to team up and solve puzzles together.
Yeah.
And so there is going to be a lot of collaboration involved, I think, between players.
What are some unique approaches that you guys are taking with Season Discovery?
Yeah, I think that's one of the most exciting things about Season of Discovery is it gives us a chance to really try something daring and new. And one of the things we're really trying to do is keep as many of the discoveries that you're going to find on your class kind of hidden in a secret. And to that end, we're not having a public beta or a PTR. We're basically going to,
That was
everyone's
a
going
good
to
idea.
experience it all at once together. It will be fresh for everyone. In those first few weeks, we're going to see a ton of information sharing and secret finding communities pop up, and that's super exciting to us.
Another way in which we're kind of experimenting here is that, as you know, there is a zone-wide PvP event in Ashenvale, and
Oh
we
yeah,
have
I forgot about
plans
this.
for other, zone-wide PvP events in the future as well. And we want to make sure is that everyone's on an even playing field. One of the things we're doing is we will be actually trying to enforce some amount of faction balance on Season of Discovery servers.
Oh, wow.
And we're leaving it all very configurable, so we're going to kind of keep an eye on the situation and figure out what kind of balance feels appropriate.
I want to move on to another player question that I've been seeing, and that's how will class tuning work?
So we very purposely, we'll be keeping an eye on all the abilities, on the PvP situation, on the raid, and making sure that nothing is
There's
too absolutely bonkers.
some team is gonna be insanely OP, and some other class might just be dog shit. Like that happens. So
But we have been prioritizing fun over perfect balance. There is some
Wow.
aspect to things kind
That's
of feeling
rare
a little
from
bit
Blizzard
wild in a game that I think
nowadays.
is very fun and important to have, especially in Season of Discovery, where we're kind of going into this with this experimentation mindset.
Yeah, particularly with the kind of level banded approach too. Trying to kind of chase perfect balance as we move through the level bands, it's probably not a great place for us to spend our time. We're definitely, like Nora said, we're going to look for outliers and things like that, but really we're focused on making each class feel very fun and lean into each class's class fantasy and each level band, and then we'll obviously make adjustments as we go.
We've seen a lot of players talking about basically trying to science through all the abilities and trying to math out how they're gonna succeed in the 1 to 25 leveling bracket, and that's really awesome. But it's also hey, that's the first bracket.
Yeah.
Things may shift a little in the future brackets as you gain more abilities and and as the season progresses.
So, what is the next level band after 1 to 25?
The
That's
level
a great
25 to 40
question.
level band. We're very excited about that. You're gonna
Which
be able
one?
to-
5.
The level 25 to 40 level band. We're
40.
very excited about that. You're
Interesting.
Gonna be able to get your 31-point talent, and you're also going to be able to go into a new raid. And we're happy to confirm that it is going to be Nomergon that you're going to go into. At level 40.
Ooh.
Can't wait for everybody in the party to get lost.
Oh, I know, right?
It is in Alliance territory. How will Horde get there?
Yeah,
Another
one
great
of the things
question.
we're doing with all the raids in Season of Discovery is we're actually, we're keeping the quests intact. We're kind of redoing them. In a lot of cases, we're upping the rewards for them. But one of the quests that the Horde has is to actually get a teleporter from Stranglethorn Vale to Nomergon. And so we're going to maintain that quest. And like you said, it is Alliance territory. So we're going to do a little something special for the Horde here so that maybe they're on an even playing field going that deep into Alliance zones.
Speaking of
Okay.
PvP, as you're leveling through that, 25 to 40 leveling range, I think a very iconic zone for players, especially those who play on PvP realms, is Stranglethorn Vale. And so, I don't know, that might be a really good candidate for another zone-wide PvP event.
So with the new level band from 25 to 40, what do players need to do?
So I mean, the cap is just going to raise, so they'll be able to level to 40, and they'll level, the same way they typically would maybe in WoW Classic, with the exception of there being a lot more for them to kind of stumble upon in the world and unlock some additional abilities in that band.
With your characters, what happens to them after season discovery?
That's something that
Okay.
we've been
Another
keeping in
great
mind.
question.
We do want players to be able to preserve their characters that they have, sort of embarked on this new season of Discovery journey with. And so we don't have concrete plans to share as of right now, but we do want to make sure players' characters are persisted in some way when the season ends.
Yeah, we want players to go somewhere with these characters that is a natural place for them to end up. We're in a situation now where we're creating new items, we're doing all sorts of new different things. There might be new item sets, things like that. And would those work in Era? Potentially not, but it's very possible for seasonal characters to end up in some place that's not quite Era, but someplace really cool.
So when you guys are playing on the build and testing it out, do you guys have any fun stories you can share?
Yeah.
Yeah, tons. One of the funniest things about Season of Discovery is when we're play testing as a group internally together, we end up in situations where someone's like, "Oh yeah, this thing is from the original game, right?" And we're like, "No, that's actually new." And sort of the inverse of that is whenever the hardcore PTR actually came out, that first day that it was up, I had logged in and I had created a dwarf character, and there's actually a quest in Coldridge Valley that asks you to get a rune in original World of Warcraft. It's completely unrelated to the rune, but I panicked because I forgot. And I'm like getting on the phone with QA and trying to I'm like, "Oh no, it's in the build, it's in the build." It's not. It wasn't. It was totally just. And so it goes both ways. There's a lot of that kind of funny is this new? Is this old? Effect that happens, and it's just every time it happens, it's usually funny.
There was also a really early on. There was a rogue rune that essentially allowed them to kind of like kick somebody and knock them back a little ways, and there ended up
interesting.
being a bug.
Like
Senjata
from
or something, but like there ended up
Overwatch.
being a bug
You
where
can
like
kick.
the knockback was insane, such that you would just knock them into orbit, basically. And like we saw,
Wow,
someone
that
demo
sounds
it, we're
fun.
just like, yeah, maybe not. And in the interest of making sure Classic still feels like Classic, the knockback in general was something that we kind of decided to move away from. So you won't be able to knock people back as a rogue, but it was just a funny, what if you could knock somebody off into the totally different zone.
So before we wrap up, is there any other updates that you guys can share?
Yeah, since BlizzCon, we've been watching a ton of feedback. And
oh, hey, Josh. Hey, Nora. Hi, Bethany. We're really strapped on time, and people really haven't been asking for anything like this. But I just made a new two-handed enhancement shaman rune, and I want to hear what you think about it.
That's great, man. But we're kind of in the middle of something right now.
Oh, sorry, guys. I'll see you later.
Okay.
Well, I guess that wraps up WoWcast, so we'll see you guys next time.
That was fun. Okay. Ooh, Scarlet Monastery as a raid. Yeah, that sounds interesting. I'm pretty sure nobody has done the raid, right? For today, 2nd of December. Nobody has done it. So I kind of want to see the streamers doing it. I need to get all my runes with my rogue. That's that's about it.